You're thinking you're going to help to clean it because they stink. There's a reason that they stink. They are little bacteria, little mold traps. That's what they are.
They're alive.
They are alive. Debbie's came up with a wonderful version, just like with her green boxes, green bags, all the things she does with her Genius sponges. These not only will last a ton longer than the regular sponge, they are not going to harbor as readily that nasty mold, that mildew, the stuff that makes your sponge stinky.
Exactly. First of all, my sponges, it's like no other sponge you ever touched in your life. First of all, my sponge has many, many very wonderful scientific qualities, which we're going to show you a tape on in just a moment. But let me tell you, really, first of all, this sponge this is the softest sponge you're ever going to use. It will always stay soft. It will always stay clean. You talked about the microwave. I don't want to stick something stinky, like as disgusting like that in a place where I cook my food.
No.
All right, this is what your sponge probably looks like right now. Everybody knows this. It's a crispy critter when it's dry. It's disgusting, and
they fall apart.
And you see all the nooks and crannies. You know stuff is stuck in there. All right, my sponges are made completely. You're going to get rid of that immediately. This is a sponge that you're going to want to have next to your sink and all over your house now. Let's look at this tape. I want to tell you about it and tell you what exactly is going on here. This video was actually prepared by the independent lab that tested my sponges. That is what is growing in and on your sponge right now. If you're
alive.
using an ordinary cellulose sponge. And not only is it there, it's multiplying, it's growing. Now you're going to look at my sponge. The independent lab test said, watch this. See the little things going poof, poof? You may pick up contaminants and bacteria and whatever on surfaces that you wipe down with my sponges. However, my sponge will inhibit their growth. So every time you pick up my sponge, it's a new sponge. But this sponge will last 15 times longer than an ordinary cellulose sponge. So in the set that you're getting, now, people tell me I'm crazy for making it 12 sponges because you're going to have them for a very long time. But when you look at 12 of my sponges there, when you purchase 12 of my sponges, let me show you what you don't have to buy.
Yeah, look at
180 of these sponges. That's what you're not going to buy when you purchase 12 of these. Now, they will inhibit, mine will inhibit the growth of things like salmonella, E. coli, black mold, MRSA. It's all those horrible things that we know the names of and are told are horrible for our families. But first of all, I'm not a germaphobe, but I want to do the best I can for my family at all times. My sponge is also different in the way it absorbs. So I'm going to pour some water here so you can see it rather than clear water, which wouldn't make any sense at all.
No, it wouldn't.
Okay. Here's what there's my sponge. You got to look at the sponge. Okay. There's the sponge. Now with my sponge, and you'll notice there's a scrubber on the back of my sponge. The scrubber is made of the same material. It's a proprietary formula of natural ingredients that makes this sponge inhibit the growth of bacteria. So you're not doing anything new, you're not adding any chemicals to your life, and the scrubber side is made of the same material, and it also, if you've ever scrubbed a pan with like scrambled eggs, and you had a sponge full of scrambled eggs.
You can't get this stuff out.
Mine will not hold on to it. You rinse it under running water and it cleans right up. But when you want to clean up a spill, this is all you do. I put the sponge down, I give it a little press. You can actually begin to see the capillary action already. You see under it? It's already picked up that water. You just press. You don't have to spread that mess around. You press and you've got, look, it's all there.
Simple.
It's so dry.
Well, it's more absorbent because you have to understand there's more material that goes into this.
It's very dense.
A very dense, very tight weave. That's why it absorbs so much at times its weight in water, and that's why it works so well. You don't have to rinse the thing out or squeeze it out as often. It's ideal for cleaning up around the house. You got to have one in your kitchen. You should definitely have one in your bathroom.
Bathrooms are
your
wonderful.
Tubs, your sinks, all that stuff.
I keep one in the garage because you know what? I always need something to sop up some water I've spilled or something I've spilled. I keep it in the garage because then I know when I go back to use it the next time, I'm not going to find one of these.
Exactly.
You know, so you got that dirty thing. Why should that even be in your garage? You want to have one of these. It will never harden. It will always stay soft. You'll find you're actually using less dish detergent because of the density. It foams more.
You get a dozen of these, guys. This is enough to last you throughout the year and then some. And I'm telling you, you're going to love them. Whether you're cleaning the inside of your car, if you're cleaning your bikes, your motorcycle, whatever it is that you own that you need to clean, utilize this tool. Has the scrubby on the backside and then the sponge on the other. If you check this out on hsn.com, have you seen the reviews on this product? There are, the last time I checked, there was 293 out of like 320 perfect 5-star reviews. It averages 4.7 stars, very high on our scale here, because people love it. In fact, we can't keep these things in stock. They're limited in quantity today as well.
So when you're doing things like you're wiping up after you've cooked, all right, so you're wiping up, do you know that the dirtiest place in your home is not the bathroom? People always think it's the bathroom, and it's not even other places you may think. It is your kitchen sponge. The kitchen sponge is the filthiest thing in your house.
Stinky.
Stop doing that. You don't have to do it. You can still use a sponge. I'm not a cloth person. I like a sponge in my hand.
Yeah, I like a sponge. When I'm cleaning, when I do my dishes, I like the sponge with
I like
scrubby.
the sponge.
Yeah.
And I also made it so it would fit in your hand nicely, because that was the other thing. Sponges were too square. They weren't comfortable. I made it so it fit a hand perfectly. So when you go and you clean up and you've washed things and you want to go wash your dishes, you want to clean up after the kids, you're washing their stuff, all you do is rinse this out under running water, put it down. Next time you pick it up, it's like a brand new sponge.
Yeah.
So you got a sponge that's going to last 15 times longer than an ordinary sponge would have in the first place, and that alone will save you a tremendous amount of money.
Yep.
But you have the beauty of the scientifically independent lab tested properties of this sponge, which will not permit the growth of mold and bacteria. That's what you got growing in and on your sponge right now. It's disgusting when you think about it. You should go in your kitchen right now. If you've got one of these things sitting there, throw it away immediately. That's my sponge sitting there. Now, if you look at this, you see the little things going poof? That's showing that my sponge is actually inhibiting not only the life on the sponge, it's not replicating, they are not multiplying, and that is for the life of that sponge.
Germs love this sponge.
You gave them a home.
Bacteria loves this sponge. This is like, it's like a little house, a little home where they can live. And it doesn't surprise you. Look at you got big nooks and crannies in there.
Sure.
That's good in an English muffin. It's not good in your sponge.
I know. Food is stuck in there.
Right.
Food is rotting in there. That's part of the smell as well.
Oh.
And if you're trying to do things like bleach it and clean it and all those things, you're adding more chemicals to your life. All you have to do is take my sponge, put it down on any spill, give it a little press, and you can immediately see the capillary action in that sponge. See that blue? I did it for a reason in blue, so you can see it. I'm not spreading that mess around. I'm soaking it up and drying this as I go. It's actually drying. You hear that sound?
I like that. Squeaky clean.
That's squeaky clean.
Hey, Deb, let's go back to the phones. We want to say hi to Tracy. She's in New York, and she loves your products as well. Hi, Tracy. Welcome to HSN.
Good morning.
Say hi to Debbie.
Hi, Debbie. How are you?
Great, Tracy. Thanks for calling.
Tell us what you love about it.
I actually have the green boxes, and I gave them out as gifts for the holiday. I split the set.
Good for you.
And we've been using them for a lot of different things, baked goods and breads and all type of things. I do have a question from the family, though, because some people use them different ways.
Okay.
And so they want to know, I know like during the showings you said you can use paper towels, but they were asking if they could put a paper towel, say they were using like carrots or lettuce or something. Could they put a paper towel, line it on the bottom and on top, and just switch them out as the water absorbs it, or would that disrupt this technology?
It would be better if they just wiped out the box, to tell you the truth. I know some people do put a paper towel in the bottom if they're finding a great deal of moisture. And listen, one time you buy carrots, they'll be very, very moisture-laden. Another time they won't be. But I would prefer if they would just wipe it out, because it really isn't an issue. And if you line the box, you really are coming between the produce and the box itself, which I don't want you to do on a permanent basis.
Maybe if you rinse your lettuce and things like that and you put it in, maybe keep it in there temporarily till it dries out, but then pull it out.
Yeah.
But that's a really good question, Tracy.
Thank you, Tracy.
And I think you did a good job answering that as well. You don't want to mess with the protective properties of the material.
It's made that way for a reason, so just wipe it out.
We got 30 seconds left. Here's what I'll tell you. I know we're crazy busy on the sponges, limited quantity. You get a dozen of these, last you at least a year, maybe a year and a half, depending on how much you use them.
What's wrong with me? Here's 12 of my sponges. I told you they last 15 times. Apart from the independent lab studies that show that they will inhibit the growth of things like E. coli, salmonella, all those things that you might pick up even in your sink if you're cooking and you use it, the bottom of your sink. Ugh. This is what, come on over here, I want to show you one more time. This is what you're not going to have to buy. 180 ordinary sponges is the equivalent life of 12 of mine. It's as simple as that.
Well, tell them again. If you don't want to save money, don't buy them. If you don't want to save money, then don't get them.
I'm about saving money. I'm about making my life easier and cleaner. So join me.
Aren't you coming back at noon?
I am coming back at noon.
Because Jared's been talking about your cake cutter. He's very impressed. He's going to buy that for his wife.
It's my cake cutter trio. It's for round. We have one for round cake, one for square cake, and one for loaf cakes, and you get them all.
I can't wait. All right, so that's noon. So if you want to see Debbie again, if you joined us late, continue to order in, but she'll be back at noon with more great stuff. Thank you, darling.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you again.
Wonderful to be with you.
All right, let's check back in with Leslie, see what's going on there, and then Leslie.